Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Today I'd like to talk about Doritos. Not really. That's just to throw you off the scent. Um, a lot of people talk about inflation these days. I've talked about it, not here, but I complain about it to family and friends, and everyone else complains about it to their family and friends too, because it's something that really does affect all of us. A lot of people like to point fingers and blame. Some of those fingers are pointed in the right place, and some of them are not. Uh, Maybe I'll talk about that later when I ramble on, but Um, one of the things that fewer people are talking about is something called shrinkflation. What shrinkflation means is that, companies reducing the size of their products without really telling us. Like both Domino's and Burger King reduced the size of the nuggets and chicken wings in their little package boxes from 10 down to 8. Um, Doritos reduced the size of their large bags from 9.5 ounces to they lost like half an ounce off the size of the bag. General Mills reduced the size of all the little family size cereal boxes. They reduced the volume of cereals in their boxes from 9.3 ounces down to like 8 point something. Some of them only lost like a quarter of an ounce. Some of them lost over a full ounce. It fluctuates a little depending on the cereal, but they've shaved approximately a full ounce off their family size cereal boxes. Walmart's roll of paper towels reduced the number of sheets per roll. Hefty bags reduced the number of trash bags in a box. All these Gatorade, the big 32-ounce bottle. They redesigned the bottle, and they advertised it as like it's concave now instead of straight cylinder, so you can hold it easier. That was their whole. That's what the reason they told us for the redesign of the bottle, but it actually shaved 4 ounces out of the. It went from 32 ounces down to 28 ounces. So these companies are all giving us less for either the same price or or higher. They've reduced what they're giving us for and charging us more money for it. But like Toblerone, Cadbury, Wheat Thins, Cottonelle, Crest toothpaste, Chobani yogurt, Pedigree dog food, Folgers coffee. Literally, all these companies are giving us less and charging us more. And that's what shrinkflation really is companies shaving off a little bit off the edges and not telling us. I mean, even Girl Scout cookies, um, are less than they used to be. And I've been buying Girl Scout cookies since I was, well, I've been buying them since I'm an adult, but, both my daughters were in the Girl Scouts. I bought cookies from them. And yeah, there's fewer cookies per box than there used to be. And this isn't talked about as much, this type of thing. People talk about inflation because it's more readily visible, because who's going to do this and go 8.8 ounces? This used to be 9.3. No one's going to notice that Pringles cans are almost a full ounce. They used to be 6 ounces, now they're 5 ounces. I noticed because I'm a Pringles junkie. I used to stack empty cans in the windows of my bedroom when I was a teenager. I have devoured mountains of Pringles. I noticed when they dropped their can size. Um, but junk food junkie that I am, I would notice those things. Surprisingly, Snickers bars are not smaller. They look smaller. It used to be one large bar in the package. Now it's two smaller bars, but the total number of ounces in the little plastic wrapper are the same. I actually looked it up. So Snickers bars is not screwing us over. Those bars are not. We're still getting the same amount. It just looks smaller because it's a redesign. So good on you, Snickers. Some of the cookie brands though, like Oreos and what other brand of cookie? I don't know. The elves in the trees, whatever those are. I think it's them. Anywho, some of the cookie brands are giving us less cookies too. But people are always pointing at the administration, and blaming. So I guess I will talk about that. I will also ramble in that direction. I see people blaming Joe Biden for the inflation, and I'm no fan of Joe Biden. But this isn't his fault. This isn't his doing. I'm perfectly willing to criticize Joe Biden for the things I think he has done wrong, but I try and be fair in my criticisms of any administration, regardless of whether it's this president, the previous one, or the one before him, or the one before him. I'll defend them where I think it's due. Joe Biden's not responsible for the rising costs that we're dealing with, any more than it was George Bush's fault for the inflation that happened during his administration in the 2000s. I defended George Bush from inflation responsibilities because it wasn't his fault. I'll defend Joe Biden for it because it's not his fault. I'm perfectly willing to criticize him for the things that he's not doing properly or the things he's done in his past that deserve criticism. But this is not the administration's doing. This is corporate greed, and it should be called out as such. Our corporate profits are up like over 30% and have been since COVID started. As soon as COVID started, they jacked their prices up. We didn't get raises right away. They jacked their prices up right away. The price, when the price of this box of cereal went up 5 cents, they increased the price by 25 cents. They made corporate profit reports for the U.S. were like $2.8 trillion last year. They're not tightening their belts. It's not, they're not having yes, they're whining about having to pay their employees more. But they're paying their employees more and then jacking the prices up to give themselves bigger bonuses. They don't want to tighten their belts. They're not only not tightening their belts, they're lining their pockets. And I think that needs to be called out. And too many people are not. They're blaming the millennials or whoever it is that's currently in the 20s. I don't know. I don't care what generation they are. They're blaming people in their teens and 20s for the rising inflation. And you go to other countries, somewhere in Europe, they're paying their McDonald's employees $20 an hour. Their Happy Meals are still $6, same as they are here. So if it can be done, you can pay your employees $20 an hour and still make a profit. You just can't make as much of a profit. And these people want to report bigger profits than last year. That's all it is. They made $100 million last year. They want to make $150 million this year. And they can't do that if they pay their employees more. So they pay they have to pay their, so in order to justify making an extra $50 million a year, they say they had to pay their employees more. And then they jack their prices up even further. That's what this is about. Shrinkflation is giving us less for more money. And that's what I've just listed off products from like a dozen companies. And they're doing it. And they're kind of getting away with it because we need to eat. Now, granted, I don't need to eat Doritos or Cheerios. I don't eat Doritos, actually. I do eat Cheerios. That's my breakfast. But I don't have time to make myself scrambled eggs in the morning, which would be healthier. Got to eat. I do eat less than I used to. Not sure how much it shows. I have lost 20 pounds. But I'm not doing it to save money. I'm doing it because I'm old and I need to not die. But we're being screwed, people. And the politicians are screwing us too. Let's not mince words. But the corporations are doing it too. And they're getting away with it because we need to eat. And we need a roof over our heads. Man, does it suck. I can complain about the video game companies doing this greed stuff, but video games are a luxury. And yeah, they kind of suck, but it's also a luxury. And yeah, Doritos may be a luxury too, but it's not just Doritos and Cheerios. It's oatmeal, it's milk, it's eggs, it's chicken. Purdue owns 75% at least of the chicken market in this country. They're overpricing their chicken and complaining they got to pay their employees more. I can repeat myself for hours, but you don't want to listen to that. I'm going to keep it short just because I'm done ranting about this now. One more thing old man screams at sky for. I didn't want to be an angry old man. Ugh. But, you know, corporate greed sucks. Good hunting.